Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer. Today we're going to be talking about my bronzer collection. I have all my bronzers laid out right in front of me, and I thought it'd be fun just to speak about each bronzer, talk about why I like it or why I may not use it. I don't know. Maybe there's some I do, maybe there's some I don't. But I thought that might be something fun to do, is just chit chat about the bronzers. At the end, I'll show you swatches of all the bronzers so that you can see what the shades are, what they look like, etc. Before so, I just want to thank y'all so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to stick around. I'd love to have you, and I invite you to do so. Don't forget to like and comment, and we're going to start with the first bronzer. The first bronzer is a very pricey bronzer that I purchased actually a couple years ago, and I haven't used it in a long time, and it's very unfortunate. This is the La Mer bronzer. It's a very beautiful bronzer. It has a distinct scent to it, but this is the kind of swirl pattern that it has. It kind of looks like ocean waves in a way, but I like this bronzer. I don't love it. The reason why is because this kind of pink swirl going through it actually gives it more of a pinky bronze rather than an actual bronze look, and sometimes it can be a little too much for me personally. It's not one that I usually reach for. It had a lot of dust on it, and it's actually one that I'm probably going to declutter because it is older and I don't reach for it. So unfortunately that little guy's probably gonna go. The next bronzer I want to talk about is an Hourglass bronzer. It's well loved. The actual packaging is really nice and dirty. But hey, I use it and that's what happens, right? I actually have a pretty deep dip in this. I really like this bronzer. It has a really pretty sheen to it. Really nice on. I think that this one is actually called the Ambient Lighting Bronzer Radiant Bronze Light. It gives a really pretty sheen to the skin, very beautiful on. There's a ton of product in here from, I've had it for a while and I've used it for a while and I still have a pan on it. So I like this. A lot of people love their actual powders. I like their powders a lot. Do I love them to the fact where they're like my actual favorite powders ever? No, but I like them. I think they're good. Other than that, that's about it. The Sun Chaser Blur and Sculpt Bronzing Powder by Thrive. This is in the shade EOS. I love the packaging of this. I love the color. I think it's so pretty. This is the EOS bronzer. This is a really nice bronzer. It is matte. I like this. I haven't reached for this one much this summer, but it is one that I really do enjoy. I wouldn't say it's my favorite though. Bobbi Brown. This is well loved and dirty as well. But this is the bronzing powder in such Stone Street. I love this bronzer. I think it's just a really pretty shade. It's a good standard everyday classic bronzer. I really enjoy this bronzer a lot. It's matte. I think that this particular formula is actually a great formula for really anyone. I just really like Bobbi Brown and their particular powders for bronzing. I have the Natasha Denona Bronze and Glow palette in the shade Tan, this palette here. Okay, I like the bronzer in here, but really that's the only one that isn't like super metallic-y or shimmery or highlighty. I don't know if that's a word, I don't think so. But this here is pretty deep, and I could see how it wouldn't be useful for, you know, everyone, but I like it. And I think it looks really pretty on the skin, gives a very, very beachy glow. So if you're looking for a beachy glow, I would definitely, it's very sun-kissed like. That one itself is really nice, but if you're only buying this for the bronzer, it's not a good value because these three are more highlighter type. And then this up here, they're very shimmery. It's hard to bronze with a shimmer. You can't put that all over your face, you know, or you're gonna like glow, glow, glow. Yeah, this one's good. I like it. I've reached for it. It's pretty, especially during the summer. I think this is a great option for a summery bronze look. The Chanel. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is the older Soleil Tan de Chanel Bronze Universal. Now, they came out with a new formula I have not yet tried. I'd love to compare them to see if they are similar or different. I've heard they're different. But I've made quite a dent in this. This bronzer is one of my favorites just for the fact that it's not like a mousse, but it's kind of putty creamy, and it definitely just glides right over the skin. It doesn't accentuate pores, but it doesn't give too much of a sheen or glow. It looks very natural on the skin, and I like that a lot, and it doesn't look powdery at all. Very nice. It does have that distinct Chanel smell. So it does have fragrance. So if you're not into fragrance, that wouldn't be something that I would recommend. But this is so beautiful. It definitely isn't a universal shade, but I really love it. Now, this Tower 28 Beauty is a recent find. This is in the Bronzino Best Coast. Now, I have found that this is very deep for my skin tone, a little kind of red for my skin tone. I accidentally bought the deepest shade. If I use a light hand, I can definitely use it. It's very sheeny, like it gives a sheeny. I'm making up all my own words today, y'all. So y'all forgive me. It's definitely got a lot of sheen to it. So if you overdo it, which I have before, it looks super, super glowy, and I had to really tone it down. And it kind of took a lot of work to tone it down. So I like this. I think it's very pretty on, but the application of it can be slightly challenging. So those are my thoughts on this particular guy. I love the ingredients. I love the price. It's nice. I think I personally would do better with a lighter shade, but overall, it's not a bad option. This is the next bronzer I'm going to talk about. It's the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. These are cream products. This is an Intensity 1. Oh goodness, y'all. Okay, I really love this. I wish I could tell you I didn't because it's a pricey product. It's Tom Ford. This is just a great sheen. It looks so natural on the skin. It doesn't accentuate pores. It looks amazing. You get a beautiful highlighter in here as well, and it is just absolutely stunning. Gives a perfect pearlescent sheen to the skin. Here, I'll throw it on here just for fun. Let's see, because I just really want to. So it just gives a gorgeous kind of glass skin effect to the skin, which is so pretty. I just love that. It's so natural and just dewy and fun and fresh. Fresh. That is the word to describe this particular product. One of my favorite bronzers that has such a unique formula is this bronzer by Chantecaille. It is the Real Bronze bronzer in Goa. This particular bronzer is a finely milled gel to powder bronzer, and it gives such a beautiful sun-kissed effect, but I like the shade of this. It's very unique, a little different, and it just gives such a very nice bronze sun-kissed look, and I really like it a lot. I really like this a lot. I think it's one of my favorites. This particular one by Chantecaille. It's a little pricier, but the formula is beautiful. It's got such an amazing formula. Definitely use a light hand. I can be a little heavy-handed with my bronzer sometimes. I'm like, keep going. But I just think that this is so nice, and it gives such a pretty look to the skin. Just natural, dewy, fresh. I like the fresh look, you know? I have 3 more recent bronzers that I have added to my collection. One of the best ones that I have found, and this is actually the most affordable one that I found, is this Tarte. This is the Breezy Cream Bronzer. It is in a cream fashion. This is very similar to this Chanel bronzer. Extremely similar. Not exactly the same, but pretty close. I love this Tarte bronzer. My shade is Seychelles, and this particular bronzer is amazing on the skin. Very fresh. I keep saying that, but it's true. It's very natural looking. I just tend to gravitate towards those more. I tend to want more of that golden sun-kissed look, and this really gives it. Now, you're gonna have a sheen since it is a cream, but it doesn't have any sparkle or anything in it. So you're gonna have that kind of matte cream effect, which is nice. It gives a little bit of a sheen, but it's not going to give you, this overall insane glow or anything like that. It's very natural looking, very pretty. Another bronzer that I recently picked up is this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. It's in this really gorgeous clamshell packaging. I mean, this is insanely beautiful, but it's like the biggest bronzer I have. It is so massive. It is look at how big it is. It's like the whole size of my hand. I got mine in the shade 3 Tan. I will say, I felt like the shade selection on this was a little odd. I felt like medium would probably be more suitable, but medium looks so light. And then I looked at the light. Light looked like a powder. The way that they looked online to me just looked different than any other shade selection that I've seen in the past. This is a very nicely milled powdered formula. So you can see here, this is the shade in Tan. I like this because it does give a very pretty matte look to the face. You're not going to have a sheen. You're going to look more polished in a more makeup sense. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? In a good way. It's not bad. It's not a bad way at all. It's just more matte and more powdery. So for me, when I have more powder on or more of a matte look, it does look more made up. Does that make sense? Which is perfectly fine. I like that look too. I like this. I need to continue to use it a bit more to really gain more thoughts. My initial thoughts on her, that it's really good, really pretty. I didn't really understand the hype around the powder. I have the powder. I think it's good. I think it's okay, but I feel like it's a little heavy for my skin. This isn't like that at all. So it's supposed to be very similar. It's in the same kind of line and things like that, but the powder for this is probably even more finely milled than the other one and not as heavy. My last and most recent purchase, which you may have seen the video on already, is this beautiful Gucci bronzer. I got mine in shade 3, which was medium. This is what it looks like, the compact looks like. Now this shade is a little different than any of the other shades that I really have. Definitely a more golden sheen to it. And it definitely gives a sheen. It's not matte. It's not kind of glowy like a cream or anything like that. It's a sheen. Pretty sheen, but definitely kind of that more powdered sheen look to the face, and I love it. I really like it a lot. In the video that I did for this particular powder, I think I used too fluffy of a brush. I needed a denser brush to use with this particular powder because it is so finely milled, and I needed to pick up more product and apply it that way, and I've done that, and it was like the best tip ever from one of my subscribers. So thank you so much, because this looks so much better, just a little bit more pigmented on the skin. It's gorgeous, and my face looks so polished when I use this. I just really love it. I think it's still on pre-order at Saks, but I think shades are limited. I hope it comes back. Like I said, it's just the oddest kind of release in my opinion with the whole Gucci bronzer and where it was and everything like that. But I'll link my video to this bronzer on my first impressions so that you can see how this looks on and what I thought about it. Okay guys, so that is my bronzer collection. That's a pretty good amount of bronzers, I think. It's funny because now I have some that I know that I kind of want to maybe phase out. I'm going to phase out this La Mer. This La Mer I'm phasing out. My Thrive I've had for a long time and I haven't used in a while. I'm going to phase that out. I'm really still enjoying, I think, the rest of the ones that I have. My favorites, I will say, are probably the Gucci, the Tarte, and the Chantecaille. Those are my top 3 right now from a bronzer perspective. I just think these are really good. I feel like I reach for my Chanel a lot during the winter. Wanted to just do this video and kind of go through them all, kind of tell you what my thoughts are about each and how I feel. And I hope that this is helpful for y'all. If y'all are looking for bronzers or looking for a new one, let me know what your favorite one is in the comments below. I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much for being here again, and I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Bye y'all.